What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Give and Go. It's Reynoso here with my guy Soltero. And
what's up, guys?
Look. We didn't shoot last week because Soltero was absent. We'll get into that, but first I want to announce that we will shoot 4 episodes this month. We're gonna have a jam-packed month. The Give and Go fans are going to feast this month because we got so much to talk about, so many topics. We're gonna keep receiving questions. Might come up with some creative games and whatnot.
That'd be fun.
But
it's off season.
It's the off season. The off season is our season.
Time to relax.
So we're here to entertain. But let's start with you, man. You were gone this past week, bro.
I was.
You were gone, man.
I was out of the country, man. I was in Costa Rica. Beautiful country. Land of the Ticos. Pura vida. And I was there for one main reason. Well, I guess first to have a little bit of vacation time, use that PTO. But secondly, the main big reason why I was there was to catch the Costa Rican League final, the final of the Primera División that is in Costa Rica, which was being contested between Cartaginés and top of the league, Liga Deportiva Alajuelense. Now, before I get into that whole experience, bro, let me just educate you, the people, on the Costa Rican League itself, because this is interesting. Honestly, some fun facts coming your way because the way the league is set up, bizarre, bro. Absolutely bizarre. So what's normal about it is that it's split up into 2 sessions, just like most of Latin America is as far as their leagues are concerned. So you have an apertura and a clausura. There are 12 teams that contest the league. So instead of playing each team once within a semester, because that'd only be 11 games, you play each team twice within one semester. So that's 22 games per semester, 44 games total across the year. And at the end of one session, one semester of the season, only the top 4 teams go to the playoff phase, which for me, that kind of makes sense. I mean, you don't want 50% of the league letting in 6 out of the 12 teams go to the playoff phase. I like that. Just keep it tight. 4 out of the 12 teams go on to the next phase. Now, here's where it gets really weird, man, and I'm going to do my best to try and explain this because I had to read the Wikipedia page like 5 times to understand this. Yeah. But I'll try to put this in as simple terms as I can. So if you're the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th place team, you obviously play the semifinal, right? And then if you win that, you play a final. Okay? Let's just say that. All right? Now let's go to the 1st place team. If you're the 1st place team at the end of a season, you will play the semifinal. If you lose that semifinal, it's okay. You're not done. You get, oddly enough, a second chance at winning the title. It doesn't matter who you play, but if you lose that semifinal, you're actually not done. If you're the 1st place team and you win, you go on to the final. If you lose the final, you're not done. You get a second chance at playing and winning for the title, which is bizarre, bro. Man. It's so bizarre. But if you're the 2nd or 3rd or 4th place team, if you lose once over the course of 2 legs, right? If you lose in the semifinal, you're out. If you lose in the final, you're out. You're done. Yeah. The only way to win it, if you are the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th place team, is to win the semifinal and then win it in the final and then win the 3rd
what are you
phase.
Even saying,
I
bro?
know,
what
bro.
Are you saying to me right now, man? Dude. I don't understand half of this shit.
That's what I'm saying, dude. So let me try to rephrase that. If you're the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th place team, if you lose, you're done. No matter what. If you win the semifinal, you go on to the final. Jesus Christ. How do you put this into words, bro? I'm serious. If you win that final, you have to play again no matter what. No matter what.
If you win a final, you have to play again.
You have to play again, which is, I don't think has ever been said unless you were in Costa Rica.
Yeah.
If you win the final and you're not the 1st place team, you have to play the 1st place team again.
Okay.
That's as best as I can put it.
Okay.
But it doesn't make any sense actually saying that because if you win a final, that should be it.
You won a final.
You won a final. Yeah. Not the case.
Yeah.
Not in Costa Rica. The only time you win the first final and you win it is if you are already the 1st place team. Right. That's the only time. Because remember, if you're a 2nd, 3rd, or 4th place team, you lose no matter what. If you lose, you lose.
No, yeah. What an emphasis they put then on the regular season. It's like it reminds me of like the NBA play-in is very similar. Where if you're a 7 seed or an 8 seed, all you have to do is win 1 game.
There it is.
But if you're a 9 or 10 seed, you have to win 2 games in a row.
Right.
To essentially earn the right to then take over a 7-8 seed position. So it's the same with this, I guess. Like if you're not that first seed and you're in the final against the first seed,
there it is.
You have to earn the right to win the championship by doing it not once, but twice, bro.
But what's frustrating is that it's not to just play in to get into the playoffs. You have to earn the right to win the title. Like it's honestly disrespectful because you talk about giving privilege to the richer clubs. This is what this is all about. If you're Alajuelense, Saprissa, or Herediano, you are almost guaranteed a pretty high percentage chance of winning the title because you are allowed to lose in the playoffs if you finish first. Yeah. So if you're any other team, it's honestly disgusting because if you're any other team outside of that top 3, you're already against it financially. And then when you get to the playoffs, you're literally against it numbers-wise because if you go to the final and play a first-place team, you have to beat them over 2 legs, and then you have to beat them again over another 2 legs. Yeah. It's impossible, man. Yeah. It's so hard. Either way,
you went.
I went to go see the first final phase because Alajuelense, the first-place team, made it to that final. They were playing Cartagines in this final, but the thing is that if Cartago won, they wouldn't actually win it ultimately. They would have to play them again. And that is actually what ended up happening. Cartagines and Alajuelense played the first game, and Cartago tied it 0-0. And then the second game in Alajuela, it was 1-0. And then finally in the 85th minute, a crazy just kind of happenstance goal. Marcelo Hernandez flicks it back, and they equalize to win it on away goals.
And what a celebration, man. I've never seen a celebration be milked for that long, bro. He held out his jersey. He took it off.
Dude, he stared at every single person.
He made sure he made eye contact with every person in the stands. Bro, he was there for like 3 full minutes, bro. Yeah. Like the team went up to celebrate with them. They ran back. And once they got to the own side of the pitch, they saw he was still there. They like all got to their side. They're like ready to start, and they're like, "Oh shit, he's still up there!" And he's still and they had to go get him again, bro. The ref had to call him over. It was crazy.
Yeah, but it was such a big statement because Hernandez, top goal scorer this year in Costa Rica, but not only that, he's on loan from Liga Alajuelense.
Wow!
So this was huge for him just on a personal level because he was not wanted by that club. He goes to a smaller club in Cartagines and just pops off. The Cuban-based player, which if you're Cuban, that's exciting because they're starting to bring in other players in the international team. Maybe Hernandez starts to make appearances for you, which is huge because he's just going off in Costa Rica right now. But yeah, that was pretty much why I went down there. I was able to go to both stadiums, the Estadio Feo Mesa in Cartago and then the Estadio Morera Soto in Alajuela. As far as the viewing experience though, bro, definitely lacking, man. Definitely lacking. I don't know how
you wanted more out of it.
Yeah, I wanted a lot more. So essentially, to sum it up, I bought 2 tickets. I was able to get tickets at both venues to go to these final, and I watched maybe 5 minutes.
What do you mean?
Yeah. So I had bought 180 minutes worth of football.
Yeah, of course.
And I saw 5 minutes.
What do you mean? You're not making sense to me.
I know,
right
this
now.
makes no sense. I know. And this is what I'm saying. It's so hard to talk about because unless you were there, very difficult to actually express exactly what I witnessed or experienced. So let's start off with the Cartago game. In Cartagines, first off, great little town, and about an hour east of San Jose. And the vibes are very like family. It's like family oriented, like grandma's going to this game. You got like a guy who's been watching Cartago for decades. He's at this game because Cartagines are in a final, bro. And so the vibes were awesome. It was very local vibes. And I was like, okay, this is dope. I go inside the stadium and only to realize that the stadium design is terrible. It's terrible. It's essentially flat seating. And I sat at the back, bro. So all I could see was just heads. It was not incline. There's no incline on it. And so I couldn't see.
Yeah.
I couldn't see the pitch. And I was like, wow. Like, no one ever thought to change the stadium design. Nothing, bro. Over the decades that the Estadio Feo Mesa has been in occupancy. No one's ever decided to change it, bro. So frustrating, man. But that's just how it is. That's just how it is in Cartago, and I could only really experience it audially. That's it. It was just an audio experience for me, like I was listening to the radio, but I was actually there in the stadium, man. I was just listening to the people who could see. I was like, okay, what maybe happened, Yeah. Was there a cross? Like, someone got fouled. Who was it? It was just completely audio experience, man, but it's terrible, because I literally could not see.
Damn, dude.
And it's funny because everyone around me, same thing. They're like, I can't see shit. Like, everyone was just so upset.
So that happens every game.
Exactly.
Every game.
And that's what shocked me, bro, is when I sat down, I was like, oh, there's no way people bought tickets in this section. There's no way, because people would know, right?
Yeah.
People would know. Wrong. People did not know, got the same tickets I did, and were like, I can't see. Like, no puedo ver nada. They were just like super, super pissed, man. And I was shocked because I'm just like, so this just happens all the time.
Yeah.
And it's so disappointing. So disappointing. The next game on the Morera Soto in Alajuela, that one was just a complete shit show because they oversold the tickets. So I had a ticket along with 2,000 to 3,000 other fans, but the stadium completely filled up capacity.
Jesus.
And we get in line, and I show them the ticket, and everyone else is like, they're completely guarding the doors, and they're like, yeah, we're not going to let anybody else in. The stadium's completely full. I'm sorry, is all they could say. And dude, me and 2,000 to 3,000 other people were just like, what? Like, we bought tickets.
Yep.
Tenemos entradas. And they're just like, sorry. like imagine that happening. Like, you go to a Cowboys game here in Dallas.
Yeah.
And they're just like, yeah, sorry.
Did you get a refund?
So technically on Facebook, they would allow you to get a refund if you went to the stadium the next day or whatever. But I wasn't in town at that point. So I didn't.
How much was the ticket in US dollars?
In USD, it was maybe like $50 to $60. So it's not the worst thing. But, still, like, that's why I went, was to go to this game.
Well, yeah, that's why you were down there, man.
down there. I was down there in ground zero, and ultimately I saw 5 minutes of football when I had paid to see 180 minutes of football, man.
Jesus Christ,
So
bro.
Costa Rica really let me down as far as, like, hosting aspect of hosting a final. Really let me down in that aspect.
Football terms.
Football terms. Yeah. The rest of the country, because I use it as a vacation as well, was really, really nice.
Did you see the news that the Serie A is going to, I think starting next year, if the top two teams are tied in points, they're going to throw goal differential out of the way, and they're going to have a one-off game to decide who is the champion of the league.
I saw that, bro. I honestly think it's a great idea.
I think so too, man.
Because it's just like, at that point, when you get into the upper echelon of two teams vying for glory, literal glory, like, goal difference would be so unjust to separate them.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, like,
it's so unjust.
I appreciate goal difference when it comes to, like, outside of the top two teams. Like, I love that, maybe that 5th and 6th place team can be decided that way. But to decide a champion, bro, I understand it's a league tournament. It's something that happens throughout a course of period of time. Yeah. It's a marathon. But I feel like a big indication of who is a worthy champion isn't so much how well you can play over a period of time, but also your tenacity, your ability to play well under pressure, to be in the spotlight for 2 hours, for 90 minutes, and put up a performance that is a champion-like performance. That to me means a lot. So if we could see, like, Inter Milan face off against the current winners, AC Milan, right, first and second place, dude, I'd be so down for that. And that's also really good for the league, because I think that's just going to get so many eyeballs on them, man. Everybody's going to want to see that.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think the biggest thing that this does is that it builds hype for the last 5 games of the season, because if you have two teams that are within 3 points of each other, there's, instead of having a few combinations where they end up like one team ends up, a point higher, 2 points higher, you're going to have an infinite amount of combinations where, maybe they drop points here, they win here, they tie here, the second place team ends up winning, and they just somehow end on level points come the end of the season, and then you have a final to decide it. That's so exciting, because we already saw excitement with, like, Liverpool and Manchester City when that wasn't a rule in place. So for this rule to be in place, man, those last 5 games of the season, if it's close in Italy, going to be so intriguing to watch.
Dude, and it's like, it's kind of funny. It's like, what if they could just keep kind of progressing with that idea in mind, and these European leagues essentially become MLS?
Right.
knockout tournaments.
Knockout tournament to decide the end of the season.
Yeah. What if they just slowly transition into that and it's like, yeah, MLS was here first, brother. We did this first. We're the innovators.
Imagine.
I don't know if it'll ever get to that, but
yeah.
I could see this approach being implemented in the other top 5 leagues just because of how entertaining it's gonna be. Have you been seeing Speed's clips on football? iShowSpeed, the streamer. Have you seen his clips on football?
I've seen the occasional one. The last one I saw was him about like Tottenham, and he didn't know that Tottenham was like a Premier League team.
Yeah, okay, that's funny because I was gonna point out how, in a way though, he's like slowly evolving. Like I'm seeing him just slowly build acumen and knowledge over certain teams. There's this clip I saw where I think he was playing against someone on FIFA that like had the Mexican national team.
Oh, okay.
And he started roasting the shit out of them. And he like actually went on a good, like
thought
out discourse of why Mexico is ass right now. And I was genuinely surprised. I was like, this kid is growing, man. He's evolving. His knowledge is starting to get better and better. It has got to with that chat. He's probably got the most active chat in the history of YouTube.
Yeah, it's interesting because in a way, and maybe I'm reaching here, but maybe I'm not. I don't think I am. I just think in general, soccer in the States it truly is growing like that.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a guy who's just a Twitch streamer, whatever he does, just playing video games, but he's involving himself with like the soccer culture because he recognizes wherever he's from or wherever he lives, it's around him. Yeah. And he's able to like kind of embrace that type of soccer culture that's growing around him. And he's just like, you know what? Maybe I got to start talking about soccer.
Honestly, he's like, this is a cultural study we're doing through Speed, man. Because it kind of, from what I saw, it kind of happened naturally where like a lot of his fans were viewers of the sport. Yeah. And it's just kind of funny because football is worldwide and like everyone watches football, and it just kind of slowly just started to marinate in that chat that like, Barca would come up, Ronaldo would come up, and Messi. Yeah. He picks a side, and from there it's history, bro.
Exactly.
You think he's ever going to meet Ronaldo?
It'd be insane, bro. If he ever posts a pic like on his Instagram of just him and Ronaldo,
man.
Yeah, that'd be insane.
I think I saw that Ronaldo's son follows him on TikTok.
Oh, no way.
So that's pretty impressive, man.
Okay.
He's getting closer, man. He's growing more powerful by the day. All right, guys, I want to take some time out to give a shout out to our sponsor. Are you missing out on your favorite show because it's not available in your region? Trying to keep your private time private? Well, let me introduce NordVPN. That's right. NordVPN is a VPN service that keeps your information encrypted so you never have to worry about your IP or location getting out. Recently, this actually helped you when you were over in Costa Rica, no?
Yeah, being outside the country, using this broadcasting service I use in the States like Hulu or Fubo, I don't have the same broadcasting access, though, once you're outside the country. But using NordVPN, I can set my IP address as if I'm in the States, and then I get the same access that I have. You can do the inverse and be in the States and set your IP address as if you're in Britain. So, it's really access whatever broadcasting services you kind of want.
Yeah, a really useful tool if you're a football fan or if you just like to roam the internet securely. So make sure to get NordVPN and make sure to use our promo code. That's NordVPN.com/giveandgo. I'll say it one more time. NordVPN.com/giveandgo. You'll get a great discount on a 2-year plan that gives you 1 free month. So you'll definitely get your money's worth with this service, and I highly recommend you guys go purchase it. So NordVPN, guys, go use our promo code. The link is down in the description. And thank you to NordVPN for sponsoring us once again. All right, now we're moving on with the show. Now we're going into Instagram questions that we receive. If you guys ever want to ask us questions, the best way to get to us is on our Instagram. And this time around, man, we received a ton. So we're going to select some of our favorites here. Okay. And we're just going to get into it. So the first question I have is, why has it been so difficult for Asian countries to compete on the World Cup stage?
That's like a multi-level, multi-tiered type of question because you could take so many angles. I think the one that comes to mind first is honestly just the lack of movement from Asian leagues to European leagues. Obviously, there's a connection. You see a lot of Japanese players go to the Bundesliga, right? I think that's probably the biggest connection, honestly. But other than that, man, you really don't see any other type of you could say migration movements like you do from like Africa or South America. Honestly, even North America, you just don't see that same level of movement from players from Asian leagues to European leagues, man. And I think that's probably the biggest reason, because when it comes down to how good is your international team, obviously it comes down to the experience of your best players. And if the experience of your best players just playing in the local league, they can only get so good. And I think that's obviously what's going to just cap out a lot of these Asian countries.
Yeah, man, it's just we haven't seen that like Asian team make a deep run in the World Cup recently. I know that we've had certain circumstances, but recently, like in the last 3 World Cups, there hasn't been that Asian team that just really surprises the people watching the tournament and goes on like a magical run.
Yeah.
My question is, will it happen anytime soon? The way it's looking, do we think that in this World Cup that an Asian team will surprise by any chance?
Yeah, the thing is, there are good teams. We saw Iran kind of go off in 2018 with an excellent defensive displays against pretty much every team that they faced. And they faced some good teams in Spain and Portugal, and they were able to completely hold their own. But again, they were still lacking a little bit of something, and that was, creativity or ruthlessness in front of goal. And that's kind of what I'm getting at. If you don't have a player that, plays in the Prem, that plays in Italy, that plays in Spain, and, performs at a high level, you're going to be missing something. Whether that's up front offensively or at the back defensively, you're going to be lacking something. So, you could say Iran, I think this year is going to have a good team. But I think it'll be kind of a similar thing. They're going to be lacking something. And look at Saudi Arabia, dominating in their region, dominating their group. But do they have what it takes to go on a magical run like you said, man? I don't know. They have good players. All of them play in the domestic league in Saudi Arabia, which, relatively speaking, is a great league in Asia. It's a great league. But it's just nothing compared to the Premier League, Serie A, even League One in France. It's just, you can't really compare them. And it's what's going to stunt these teams from doing anything great. The thing is, I think they can entertain. I think Saudi Arabia is going to be fun to watch. But can they get past the round of 16 or even close to that, man?
Dude,
I don't know.
I think that the more I think about it, the more I realize that Asian teams got fucked with the groups they got put in. Most of them don't even have a shot because of the group.
Yeah.
Before the tournament even starts, man.
Yeah.
Isn't Japan with Germany and Spain?
Yeah.
You have Australia with France and Denmark and Tunisia. South Korea is in the tough group with Uruguay and Portugal.
No, yeah.
And then,
Saudi Arabia is with Argentina,
Mexico, Poland. Iran is with Wales.
U.S. and England, man.
U.S. and England.
God.
Dude, that's tough, man.
That's
the Asian
really
teams
tough.
got fucked this time around. Right?
Yeah, dude, they got definitely dealt a really bad hand, and the host countries too. Qatar being Asian as well, and that's the thing. Qatar are a good team, but you compare them against the group that they're in. They have Netherlands to beat. They have Senegal, and that's the thing. You could say Senegal's not going to be an incredibly good team, but beating Senegal, that's a task in and of itself. So for a team like Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Iran, they're good teams, but are they going to have true success at the World Cup? I think no.
What's the most beautiful goal that you've seen?
The first one that immediately comes to mind when I think of just true beauty, I think of Pavar's goal. 2018 World Cup against Argentina.
Yeah, that's a work of art,
man. It's a work of art. Truly, you could put that on a painting, man, and it would sell for millions. Put that in the New York City Museum of Art, whatever you want to do with it, but it is art, bro.
The Louvre.
It's such a beautiful goal and one of the finest I might ever see, honestly.
Yeah. No, man, that's an incredible answer. That might top my answer. The first one that I thought of was... It's actually a goal I saw the other day. It was back like when Ruud van Nistelrooy played for Real Madrid.
Okay.
And they had this incredible build-up where each player only touched the ball once.
Oh, I've seen the highlight.
A one-touch goal. It's the most beautiful build-up, ultimately leading with a beautiful cross in, and Ruud van Nistelrooy just catches it before he even hits the ground. Catches it like outside the box and just top left corner. It's a beauty of a goal. It's a banger.
Yeah.
But I got to go with Pavard on you because that one has a sheer beauty to it. It's like
it's raw, but
subtle.
It's so beautiful.
You got to understand it. You got to appreciate it. Whereas Van Nistelrooy's goal was more impactful, more just dramatic, I think.
Yeah.
And so despite that, 2 beautiful goals right there. Hey,
Absolutely.
good shit, man. Good answer. Would love to know the viewers' thoughts on this. What is the most beautiful goal that you guys have seen? Send me a DM or a comment on this TikTok or whatever it is. make sure to let us know, because I really would love to see just a highlight reel of what we think, the Give and Go viewers think are the most beautiful goals that they've seen.
Yeah, I'd love to kind of roll through those highlights myself and just see what people think. That'd be fun.
Do you think that the World Cup curse will happen to France?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Damn, for real. I don't know, bro. I don't know about this, man. We've mentioned it before in previous pods, but I want to go in deeper, man. What do you mean, absolutely?
No, I was joking.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I thought it sounded serious, man.
Sorry. To be completely serious, so France have Denmark, Tunisia, and Australia to face in their group stage. I think realistically, Australia, unfortunately, as we've kind of prefaced before, just they're not going to be able to compete with these type of teams. They're just not going to be able to.
Not big on Australia.
So that's one team already gone. Okay, great. There's 3 teams that have 2 spots available. All right. I feel like Tunisia have a great opportunity here to build off of their performance in 2018. I think the team's overall a little bit better, and not only that, they're a little bit more experienced. When you see the games that they've kind of won when they beat Mali in that World Cup qualifier, it wasn't because they were necessarily the better team. It's because they went about the game a little bit smarter. Yeah. They kind of outsmarted Mali. And that's my ultimate compliment to Tunisia, is that I think going into this tournament, they're just smarter. Their players are a little bit more in their prime. I think Naim Slithi, Youssef and Sakni are just going to be a little bit more well-rounded than they were in 2018. And I think overall, that's going to help them. But Denmark and France, man, those are 2 really, really tough teams to beat. And Tunisia, especially in these last couple years, have struggled to score consistently in a lot of their games. Whereas Denmark and France, even when they're having a bad game, score very freely. Yeah. So overall, I think Tunisia will fight, but I don't think they'll be able to beat Denmark or France. And even if Denmark top France will still go through as at least a second place spot, man.
Yeah, it's interesting because the deciding factor for teams that go through this curse, the reason that this curse even exists is because there's always a team in the group that surprises people. Yeah. That catches people off guard. And we saw that last time with Germany losing out in a group with Mexico, Sweden, and South Korea. Right. Both Sweden and South Korea surprised. So like the whole group was filled with just stunners.
Yes.
And I look at this group, I completely rule out Australia right away.
Completely.
I qualify Denmark automatically because of how well they're playing. I chose them as probably my dark horse of the tournament.
Agreed.
And so it's literally just down to Tunisia.
Yeah, man.
And I'm thinking more specifically to that game that they have against France. I know what you just said about them. I know that they do struggle to score and goal, but maybe that organization they have, maybe that stability they have can work out in a 90-minute game against France that just maybe, almost how they beat Nigeria that time in the AFCON. They get one chance early, they take advantage, and then they're just stout the rest of the time. Yeah. I know that's crazy to say or crazy to ask against this French team that dominated the 2018 World Cup, but there's always potential in a World Cup. There's going to be surprises that we haven't even predicted yet on the pod. Why can't it be this one, man? Why can't it be Tunisia getting a result against France, taking care of business against Australia, maybe tying against Denmark, and suddenly they find themselves through in either second or first
over France, bro? That sounds insane.
I'm trying to convince myself right now. Like, I'm trying, bro. I'm trying, and that's the only argument I could see where maybe. Yeah. But it's just, at the end of the day, if I got to put my money, if I got to be serious, it's France, brother. Yeah. It's France, and I think they're too good. I think they'll break the curse finally. Yes. And I mentioned it before. If they don't, then this curse is actively among us. Bro. It is something physical. Yeah. And it is something that haunts the players of these football teams and will continue to do so for the eternity of the tournament.
Yeah, as soon as you lift the World Cup trophy, you immediately become haunted.
You're possessed. Yeah.
But just to finish this, because you do bring up a great point. Tunisia, to bring up a good argument, the only argument is that they are very organized. Again, a lot more so than they were in 2018. But when you look at why the curse has existed, you brought up Sweden and South Korea, is because those teams that were able to pull off these upsets, if you will, were offensively oriented. Yeah. Sweden was incredible offensively in 2018, man. It was a reason why they were able to surprise a lot of their teams.
That team was all chemistry, bro.
Yeah.
It might not have the best talent, but they had amazing chemistry.
Yeah, Forsberg was incredible that tournament. I loved watching him play. And then when you look at 2014, the reason why Spain didn't going to get through is because Netherlands and Chile went off, man. Chile's offense was incredible that tournament. Yeah. And we all know how good the Netherlands were in 2014. Yeah. So that's why the curse has kind of existed these past couple tournaments, because they've been with very offensive-minded teams. Unfortunately, other than Denmark, Tunisia and Australia just aren't going to cut it offensively.
Who is your choice to win the Golden Ball this year at the World Cup?
Oh, okay.
This is fun, man.
Okay, Golden Ball. So MVP, basically.
MVP of the World Cup. Who's it going to be? In 2006, it was Zidane who won the Golden Ball. 2010 was Diego Forlan.
Yeah, I remember that one.
That was a good one.
That was a good one because he completely deserved it.
Yeah. Followed up by Lionel Messi in 2014 with Argentina taking that team all the way to the final. And then 2018, Luka Modric. So 4 studs right there. Yeah. Stars, world-class legends that earned the prize of the Golden Ball.
Yeah.
And going into 2022, there's these traits that we see in a Golden Ball winner. You got to have team performance. Yeah. You got to have individual performance. You got to put up some good numbers. Yeah. And then in the case of Forlan and Modric, you got to capture the hearts of millions of people. There's a heartwarming story about these players. And so who's going to do that this time around? Who's going to be the player that fills out every single box, checks out every single box? And will it be a player that actually wins the World Cup? Because none of those 4 players won it.
I was just about to say, I didn't realize this until you listed them out in order, bro. None of those guys won the World Cup, actually.
Yeah.
What's interesting is what that means is the better team wins the tournament, which obviously makes sense.
Yeah.
But usually a standout player who just stands above the rest almost carries their team through that tournament. Yeah. In a sense. Not saying that they're alone in their team and that they're the only one doing anything, but in the sense that they're by far and clear the best player on their team, and then they just have an incredible tournament. So who's going to be that player that maybe they don't have the best team, but themselves just go off? Who's going to be that guy?
I think it's Diego Lainez, bro.
That's the thing, though, is that the Mexican team is set up for one guy to just go off.
If one guy does,
then he's winning it. He's winning it.
There's a chance, man, because like you said, it rewards individual performance and not team performance. Because you look at the past winners, 2014, Germany was such a unit that you really couldn't pick one single player from that team to deservedly win it.
Exactly.
And it was so clear that Messi carried his squad that year, so you had to give it to him.
Yeah.
2018, Modric, bro, he was running around for 120 minutes for 3 straight games. He earned that shit, man.
Completely carried that entire midfield.
Yeah, and so, man, in a funny way, Mexico could be set up to do it. Obviously, they would have to go far. That's probably
and they would have to have a team, and they would have to have a player that was actually good in that sense. Yeah, and they don't have that.
We unfortunately do not have that right now. We cannot provide those resources right now. And so, thinking about the options at hand, man, you think about, maybe Brazil going on a deep run. Who would be the shining player from that team? Would it be Vinicius Jr.? Yeah. Would he be a candidate? Argentina, you look at Lionel Messi. Surprises in Di Maria, maybe. Mm-hmm. You go over to Europe. France, could it be Mbappe? Could he carry his team?
Right. I think what this kind of tells us is that other than maybe Zidane, you actually can't predict this. Like, honestly, because you think when you think of like top players, you're not going to think, oh, Modric is going to be the Golden Ball winner of a World Cup. But in turn, he took Croatia to the peak of a World Cup and ended up being one of the best players out on that pitch. Right. So that's why he won it. And then in 2014, again, that Uruguayan team was so youthful, but also they used the experience of Diego Forlan, who himself just kind of went off in that tournament. So it's like, I don't know. This is actually a tough question.
Could it be like Nunez? Could it be a player like Nunez doing something special for Uruguay? Or I don't know. I'm thinking more so just what players setting themselves up well going into the tournament. I still know it's very far away, but we're looking at right now. I could maybe name off like a Karim Benzema. Yeah. If he has a good run and takes the team to the semifinals, being that
maybe he scores like 6 goals throughout the entire tournament. I could see him
really earning a spot. Will a defender ever win the Golden Ball?
I don't think so, man.
You don't think so, man?
No matter how good it ends up being, unless the team is completely set up defensive oriented, that would be the only way.
I don't even think like that, man.
But that's the thing is that offensive teams win the World Cup for the most part, so this just won't happen.
Well, I would say the only argument I have is that 2006 Italy team that I pointed out was an incredible defensive juggernaut, and they had famous defensive players. It was Cannavaro who lifted up the trophy for the team, and is in that iconic photo, like he was the key player, and that's a defender. But even then, they chose to go with Zidane.
Right, the more individual type of player at the time, for sure.
So, man, I need a final guess here.
So then, if we're going purely off of individuality and the way that their team is set up to kind of showcase that individuality, I'm going Neymar.
I'm
going Neymar, man. Brazil's on an incredible high right now. They're going into the tournament with incredible confidence, and they have so many individual type players. This is the chance for Neymar to basically prove that he's worth being in the talk of the best players of all time.
No, Neymar's a really good one, man. Yeah. Especially if he can just show out, bro. Yeah. This tournament. And if Brazil just makes the semifinals, I think that might be good enough.
I think it'd be good enough. Yeah. And that's the thing. They reward players who are individual this reward. So it's like if Neymar can just go off, man, and Brazil go to the semis, he'll have a good chance at getting it.
Yeah. Are we going to rule out completely Lionel Messi? I don't think we will, man.
No, I can't rule him out.
I can't because the way this Argentina team is just building itself up. The reason I asked ruling out is because of his age. Most of these players were in their prime when they won it.
Yeah.
Lionel Messi's still an incredible talent, but he's already won it before. Yeah. So that's an interesting little factor that's happening at hand.
Will they give it to him again?
Will they give it to it again if he takes his team on a deep run? I think they have to if he goes deep.
I think if he wins, they'll give it to him.
Yeah.
Which would make sense.
Man. Imagine him, the photo lifting
God,
a World Cup as well as a golden ball. Jesus Christ.
I want that so bad.
Jesus Christ.
I want that so bad.
Ronaldo, a candidate as well.
Absolutely.
If this Portugal team goes far. Dude, it's just, like you said, the premise of a golden ball recipient, like the idea of predicting who, like if you go to the gambling odds for this, it's got to be harder than picking the World Cup winner, bro.
It has to be. It has to be, man. Like picking this is virtually impossible, man.
Yeah. Give and Go viewers, let me know, who do you think is going to be the golden ball winner this time around? Because there are just a plethora, a deep core of options for you to pick from, man. Modern soccer is very different from 30 years ago.
No, dude.
Very different, bro.
Even 10 years ago, honestly.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Even 10, bro.
If you compare how it is now to what it was in 2010, 2012, so different.
Yeah, absolutely. What would it look like in 20 years? Scary. What if it's like with guns, bro? Football players with guns, like, you got fucking
like laser tag,
Uzis.
You shoot a player and you can't touch the ball for 5 minutes.
You can't, yeah. Like hockey timeouts, you get in trouble. You got to sit out for a few minutes. What will football look like? I mean, realistically, though, we're seeing the implementation of VAR. We're in the early stages of it. If we're thinking about it holistically, it's only been like, what, 3 to 5 years?
Yeah.
I can't remember when they got introduced.
It was around 2018.
2018, yeah.
Yeah,
it's only been 4 years.
Yeah.
That's going to be solidified by then. There's that new technology that they're introducing this World Cup with the advanced offside technology. Have you seen that? That they're implementing a sort of like GPS into the ball that's being used so that they can more precisely locate where the ball was when like an offside play happened. So they can get like accurate technical like computer descriptions of
when the ball was hit.
Yeah, when the ball was hit and like where it's located at, and like get more specific analysis on that. It's pretty crazy.
That's pretty sweet. That's insane.
Yeah. FIFA has announced that semi-automated offside technology will be used at the FIFA World Cup 2022 in Qatar starting on November 21st, a support tool for the video match officials.
It makes sense, though, because if you think about the technology that has been used since the beginning when they first introduced goal line technology, right?
Yeah.
A goal is a goal. It's a black and white decision. There's no fuzziness about whether the ball has crossed the line or not, right? So they're able to implement that technology. It finally makes sense that they're getting close to doing the same thing for offsides, because offsides is a black and white decision. There's no fuzziness. If you're offside, you are offside. So it makes sense that they're trying to incorporate this.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, if you can let the referee know, that's offside just by telling him, then that immediately quickens up the game. Rather than looking at a tight one and he has to go and kind of look at the pictures, it'd be so much easier if we can fully automate offside decisions. So I think that's just a step closer to doing that.
It says the sensor inside the ball positioned in the center of the ball, sends ball data to the video operation room 500 times per second, allowing a very precise detection of the kick point.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. And something I don't think the World Cup gets credit for is kind of being innovative when it comes to implementing new technologies into the sport. We've seen it like 3 World Cups in a row now. Yeah. The goal line technology being implemented in 2014, followed up by VAR in 2018, and now a more precise offside technology being implemented.
I love it.
That's dope because they've actually done it very well too. Like I remember in 2018, I loved how VAR was utilized in that World Cup.
Yeah.
Premier League, not so much. It was a little shaky. It was weird.
And that's the thing, though, is that you bring this technology in the World Cup, and it's a little shaky to start once you distribute it to the leagues. But we've seen how good VAR has become, and it's only been 4 to 5 years. So even if this offside technology isn't at first great, I can immediately see it improving as it gets implemented across Europe.
I agree. So talking within the scope of 20 plus years, I mean, what is football going to look like? Is there something new that can be added on, I guess, technology-wise to help improve the game? And outside of that, players themselves. How are we going to see players keep evolving, man? Because what we're seeing now is already incredible, bro.
Yeah, it's incredible. The technique, what a player has at their disposal at such a young age, going into these insane academy facilities and just having state-of-the-art type of scouts, training systems, everything, man. And you're seeing it like culminate into young players like Jude Bellingham and Phil Foden. Like these guys are already coming at the age of like 17, 18, Pedri, Gavi for Barcelona, and they just have incredible touches. They understand the game at a much higher level at a lot younger age. I see it going in that general direction of where the average player is going to basically be like a Phil Foden. Like your average winger is going to just be able to take any player on one-on-one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
dude, that's going to be, wow. Yeah. that is a combination of flair and confidence that we're going to see in the coming years.
That's what it is.
Yeah, man, because, dude, so many of the players we're seeing now are so silky with the ball, man.
Yeah.
And I'm like, from what point does that turn from silkiness to water, man? These players are going to be like fucking like unstoppable, man. Yeah. Unstoppable in the future. But at the same time, the defenders are going to get better. The tactics are going to get better.
Yeah.
I think 20 years from now, we're going to see some awesome talents define the sport of football. And by then, Pedri will be 38. Haaland will be 41.
Damn.
It'll be weird seeing these wonder kids that we're so hyped on now become older players. But that's just how the sport works.
You know, it's interesting because when you look at how football was 30, 40 years ago, the commodity was IQ. How good you were with spatial awareness, how good you were with your body, how well you could use it, how good your finishing was, or just your understanding of space, finding a player open that could actually open up a defense, stuff like that. And towards this modern era that we're in right now, there's a bigger emphasis on really athleticism, right? A bigger emphasis on technique, maybe first touch, speed, pace, strength even. So it's kind of gone away from IQ. And it's kind of it's kind of gone like, give me the fastest fullback you have and he's going to be starting, right? Give me the most athletic winger you have who can reach like insane top speeds. Give me that player. That's the commodity right now, I think, is athleticism. But what's interesting is that if we get into an era where everyone's at the same ability, where everyone's at the same athletic level, then I think at that point,
technical game.
At that point, everyone's on the same technical level. It goes back to IQ being the commodity.
I think it'll revert back to.
I think it'll revert back because if everyone can basically cover everybody, if everyone has the same generational touch, then it's going to be who's smarter.
Yeah.
And the thing is, IQ is obviously still in the game when you see players like Kevin De Bruyne, right? But I think at that point, when everyone's at that same level, IQ is going to go back to being the most important asset that a footballer has.
Wow. Yeah, that'd be awesome to see that too, with just because what we saw was such a dated version of it with players not being as technically sound. To see IQ be the prominent trait and point of these players, but with them having such a solid foundation and technical ability, bro.
Yeah, that'd be insane.
Oh my God.
That'd be ridiculous because like at that point, you're going to have to get creative. And you're going to have to couple the insane skill you have with just insane creativity with your own personal level.
And you know something? I feel like the matchup that has shown me that the most in recent memory, like that football has advanced, are those Liverpool Man City games, dude.
Oh, yeah,
where it gets so
man.
incredibly technical
Yeah.
that you, like literally every pass has to be perfect.
Yep.
Your positioning has to be on point. The ideas, the use of flair, the use of just shoulder moves and faking out your opponent, everything is so precise that it creates a fantastic,
Oh my God,
mesmerizing
yeah.
display in terms of just football, like
Yeah.
talent on the pitch and just trying to outsmart one another. It's going to be like that times 3 or 4.
Yes.
It'll be crazy to see. It's unimaginable for me right now.
Yeah, it's gonna be a spectacle to watch.
An absolute spectacle,
Honestly,
man.
I can't wait till I'm like 50 and I'm just like, God, my God.
Yeah, just like, God damn
My
it, man.
God.
God damn it. But yeah, guys, that's all we have for responses to questions this time around. We want to keep it a little bit short since we had that whole Bleacher Report segment. And man, just if you followed us this whole time, thanks for listening to us. We will be back next week. We will not miss it this time around. We'll be there to talk all things World football this offseason. Thanks again for watching us. Make sure to buy our merch. And make sure to go purchase yourself some of that NordVPN, baby. Support our sponsors, please. And we'll catch you guys next time.